with the introduction of the Megablast, it did make me think about the other shoes in the Blast lineup. So in this video, we're going to go through each shoe in the ASICS Blast lineup, and I'm going to tell you which shoe does what and which shoe may be best for you. Okay team, so we've recently had the Megablast and the Sonicblast join the Blast lineup. Now this is a range of shoes that ASICS sort of put together back a few years ago when the Novablast first came out. They really branched away from that more traditional Nimbusy sort of shoe that they had been making, and they added in the Blast foam, which is a bit of a game changer. I remember that first Novablast, it was a real cracking shoe. Massively unstable, but it was a real change from where ASICS had been. Now fast forward to 2025 and they've actually created a whole range of shoes. So let's dive into these shoes, shall we? Now you may not be aware, but there's actually a budget shoe that sits at the bottom of the range. And it's a shoe we've actually had on the channel before. This is the Versablast. So this Versablast is £70 if you buy it on the ASICS website. It features the Amplifoam Plus midsole. We've got an 8mm drop. I've not seen an official stack height, but I think it's about 36 as a guess. This is to say a budget Novablast. It's a smooth, bouncy ride, although it's quite firm in places. It's a shoe I would say that's ideal for beginners. Let's take a closer look. So again, this shoe has featured on the channel before, but we've got a pretty cheap feeling upper. Got decent rubber coverage on the outside. I know it's hard to see in this black version. We've got the Amplifoam foam in here, which is firm, but it's not as bad as some of the other shoes that are out there currently. Fits great, no issues in terms of rubbing or anything like that. This is a very comfortable shoe. But like I said, this is your budget shoe in this range. Still at £70 is not budget, but you can pick this up a lot cheaper than £70. And I think this is a good shoe if you're a beginner runner. This is a shoe that will be able to cover that couch to 5k mileage that you may be looking to do. You can also take it into the gym and do some of that work as well. So this is a good budget shoe that sits at the bottom. This is a great beginner running shoe, and I've mentioned it in the past on this channel. So that's the Versablast, okay? And then next up we have the Dynablast. Now for anybody who had the Novablast 3, I'm going to let you into a little secret. This is basically that shoe. Yes, people, ASICS were geniuses, and basically they've repurposed the Novablast 3 and they've called it the Dynablast. So this shoe features the Flight Foam Blast Plus. It's £115. Again, you can get it cheaper. We've got over 40mm a stack, down to 33, I think. We've got the same sort of grip on the outsole as we had in the Novablast 3. It fits and feels exactly the same as the Novablast 3, and that's basically because it is the Novablast 3. One of the things I really like about this shoe is the upper, and it feels great on foot. Again, very much like the Novablast 3. It's a little bit firmer than some of the earlier Novablast models, but it really is a cracking daily trainer. And like I said, you can pick this up well under £100, people, but this is the shoe that sits above the Versablast. Okay, so Versablast is your budget, as you've got here. Budget, next step up, basically Novablast 3. Now in terms of who with this suit, I think this is somebody who's, you know, gone through the Versablast, realised that that's maybe a little bit too firm and not as forgiving or as energetic as some of the other shoes. This is a good step up from maybe where you've done that couch to 5k in the Versablast. This is the next step in terms of your running shoes. This is a very capable daily trainer. Then we've got the Novablast, and this is version 5. So the Novablast 5 had a big change because it features now the Flight Foam Blast Max in it, which is a lot softer. Still over 40mm a stack in the heel, down to 33 and change, 8mm drop, £135. ASICS grip on the outsole, usual sort of thing. And this is again is a very capable daily trainer. In fact, a very versatile daily trainer. It's got a great upper on this shoe, and whilst the outsole has been improved, it's still a bit sketchy. And to be honest with you, the outsole on all these shoes other than the Megablast is a bit sketchy. But it fits well, it feels great on foot. This Flight Foam Blast Max is a little bit more forgiving. It has lost some of that speedier element that you used to get out of the Novablast, but don't get me wrong, you can still kick along in here, but it's definitely more sort of comfortable and forgiving than the previous models. It is a massive departure from what version 1 was, but you know what, it now fits into the range quite well. You know, you can see the fact that it does fit above the Dynablast. It is that more sort of max stacked, softer feeling, comfortable shoe that can do bigger miles and that sort of stuff. Take some of that more volume and help you with some of that versatility that you may need, because you may be doing more or different sorts of runs in it. And don't get me wrong, this is no slouch as well, okay? And you can actually pick this shoe up for under £135. But yes, this is a good daily trainer. Still one of the best that's out there. Works for a lot of people. I see a lot of people running in these, which is a good thing. But yeah, this is your very versatile daily trainer that can do pretty much everything you needed to do. And then we get on to the Sonicblast. This is a new super train from the guys from ASICS. Now this features the new Flight Firm Turbo Square. We've got that on top, and then we've got the Flight Firm Blast Max underneath. We've also in here got a P-Bax plate, a 3/4 length P-Bax plate, which is helping some of that snappiness off the toe. But I want you to think of the Socket Endorphin Speed. This is a super trainer that can do all that faster stuff, the daily stuff, and even into race day. You can also take this thing long. And again, this is on the firmer side, I would say, versus some of the other shoes out there. But it's a very good, competent super trainer that you can use for multiple different things. The shoe retails at £170. It's got over 46 millimeters, stack in the heel, 8mm drop again, fits true to size, 287 grams in my UK 9.5, and again features the ASICS grip outsole, which is not the best in the world. But yeah, so this is your sort of super trainer, okay? Again, big step up from the Novablast, I would say. This is again somebody who maybe is looking to do or train for their first half, maybe train for their first marathon. This is a very competent shoe for that sort of training mileage you're going to do, but also you can take into race day. Penultimate shoe is the Superblast 2. This is the best running shoe of the last few years. This is unbelievable. And the reason it's unbelievable is because it features the Flight Firm Turbo Plus, and you could do so much in this shoe. You could literally buy this shoe and it would do everything. This foam is so good under pressure. When you lean on this in like marathon training or half marathon training, this is such a good shoe. It was marginally let down by the sort of cumbersomeness of it at lower speeds. It felt a little bit chunky, it felt a bit, cumbersome. Don't even think that's a word. But anyway, at those lower speeds it's not ideal, but when you get into those longer miles, this thing is phenomenal. Now this shoe's £195. As I said, it features the Flight Firm Turbo Plus. We do have another layer of Flight Firm Blast Plus Eco along the bottom. 45mm stack, 264 grams, ASICS grip again, and you've got an engineered woven upper on here. And this is a shoe for anybody who wants one shoe to do it all, but I think also if you're now marathon training, if you've stepped up into the marathon distance, this is the shoe to go for. You can race in this shoe. I know people who have easily taken this into the marathon distance. You can also get a hell of a lot of mileage out of this shoe. A friend of mine's got 500 miles on a pair of his. This thing is like a tank. But this is the ultimate long run shoe, or sorry, was the ultimate long run shoe until the next shoe came along. And that, my friends, is the Megablast, which I really, really like. This in a way is like Superblast 2.5, I would say 2.5, because we do have a new Superblast coming soon apparently, and that's going to feature some of the other foams that ASICS have got, but I don't have that confirmed. But this does kind of feel like Superblast 2.5. Now the Megablast features the brand new Flight Firm Turbo Squared in it. This is an aliphatic TPU foam, so it's bouncier, softer and lighter. This shoe, for example, weighs 250 grams versus the 264 of the Superblast 2. This is also more money. This is £220. But the thing is with this shoe, you can kind of do everything you can do in the Superblast 2, and the bits that the Superblast 2 kind of lets itself down on, and they're not big things, but this does basically everything the Superblast 2 does, but also does the other things a little bit better. This really is a phenomenal shoe. Although it's massively overpriced, this really is a cracking shoe. And again, you can take this into race day. This is a shoe I think anybody who's like a serial marathon trainer person, or somebody who does a lot of half marathons, basically high volume, I think this is the shoe to go for, because you can do, again, loads of stuff in it. You'll be able to buy this shoe, you'll be able to suck up all your volume, all your mileage. Yeah, you may take something in for race day, whatever, but this can do pretty much everything that you will throw at it, which is why I think it's called the Megablast. So there we go, team. That's the full Blast range. And I want you to let me know in the comments which out of those shoes sort of suits you, which works for you. Have you got the Novablast 5? How did you get on with it? Have you gone nuts because you've seen the Megablast is now £220? I don't know. What's sort of getting your interest out of those shoes? Did you even know that the Dynablast was an Novablast 3, for example? But yeah, let me know. Are you a big fan of the Blast range? I personally am. I think ASICS have created something, probably, I don't know whether it's by mistake, but they've really created a good lineup of shoes there. The Superblast 2 for so many years, Superblast 1 as well, was absolutely phenomenal. But the Megablast is good, people. I'm not just saying it. It doesn't matter if I get sent them or not. I'm just telling you now, somebody who does a lot of running, it's a really good versatile shoe. And I appreciate how expensive it is, but I think for me, if I was spending my own money on these shoes, that's the one I would go for, because I can literally do everything the Versablast, the Dynablast, the Novablast, everything they can all do, I can get out of the Megablast at £220. But there we go, team. That's my guide to the 2025 Blast running shoes from ASICS. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did find it useful, hit that subscribe button, but I shall catch you all later.